Welcome. Good afternoon. My name is Keith Flynn. I am the Director of Digital Marketing Advertising here at WestUSA Realty. Probably seen me around before. Been a little over 9 years now. Been with WestUSA, and it's been a minute since I've done a Zoom class. So I'm really excited to have you guys on for this next hour real quick. And of course, like always, if there's any questions, comments, or anything like that, feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hand, however you want to address it, jump in there. I've got a chat box open for questions. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to jump on. I'll be keeping an eye on the room. People come and go, admitting people in. But we have, as you can see, we're going to talk about utilizing your smartphone and shooting some really good photography, some great video editing. And so your ability as a real estate agent to put for your best foot forward, capture and get great photography, whether you hire somebody or doing it yourself, this really is designed for those who are either starting out as a new licensee, really don't have the budget yet to either hire professionals, but quite frankly, there's a lot of us out there who've gotten used to utilizing our smartphones and utilizing the technology that's in them in order to create a lot of great content. And so a little bit about today, what we'll talk about is on the use of your phone and why it's important, because there is such a powerful camera in there. We really don't need to go out and purchase a lot of other devices in order to capture great video and photography content. And so with photos and video statistics, homes with a higher quality photography have statistically shown to sell higher and at a lot faster pace. So that's important. Obviously, we're going to have our great first impression with photography. It's important. We don't want to have a bad photo out there because that doesn't help sell our home or our content and what anyone is looking to engage with. So, but it is shown that a home with photos or a home with a photo spends 70 days on the market, but a home with 20 photos or more has spent 32 days on the market. So more photos tells a better picture story, has a better image for the house. And so naturally, the more photos we have to look at, the better. You guys pretty much all know too, try to get rid of some of those old dated photos that maybe the previous homeowner had, or we're still in the wheelhouse for utilizing to sell a home. I've seen some homes where I see a kitchen and then I see a kitchen that's much more modern. And so unless you really want to present that before and after, it is important, but more photos do help sell the home faster for sure. 90% of homeowners or home buyers take to the internet to look at their homes. We're all able to shop from the convenience of our smartphones now and look at a lot of content, not just homes, but in general. And so, to have that imagery on there and have great imagery is important. And so a lot of these statistics will support the fact that why we should be taking great photography. And even if you have a professional, important to get more comfortable with your device so that when you're taking photos, you're getting great content. And we should be archiving all of our past work. And so in doing so, that'll help you create a nice snapshot of the quality and the caliber of the homes that you're used to dealing with. 45% of people watch more than 1 hour of Facebook or YouTube videos a week. So we are utilizing these social media platforms to consume video. So anytime you or something you're wanting to promote or share, video is very powerful. 95% of the message is retained when watching video over other forms of communication. So videos do lend themselves to delivering the message, very powerful communication, and especially with short form video, because we have gotten a much smaller attention span over the years. And so short form video, real quick, eye-catching content was going to capture people's attention. 87% of online marketers use video content. So everyone's there because we all know that's where the eyeballs are. So we want to get our content out there in front of them as well. 25 to 34-year-old millennials. Your older millennials too, in the late 30s, are watching videos online. That's your largest demographic for video consumption online. And so naturally, with those being the largest or making up a lot of the largest first-time home buyers, this is how they communicate. So it's going to be advantageous for you to be putting out content so that you can help sell you, your product, your service, your overall experience when you're utilizing you as a real estate agent. Over half of video content is viewed on a mobile device. We have a mobile device in our hand 24/7. At least if I am, I know I carry my phone with me everywhere I go. It's just rarely do I make calls on it. It's all about just communication, searching, just being a big brain in the hand so that I can learn and consume content and reach out and do what I can quickly with the device. So it's amazing what we have at our fingertips. And so when it comes to homeowners, they are certainly taking to the devices in order to do their homework, learn a lot about more you as an agent and so on. 73% of homeowners say that they are more likely to list with a realtor who uses video. Naturally, they're going to ask you, how are you going to communicate or share that you have a home for sale, market their property, and naturally video is going to be a big one. So make sure it's part of your tactics when it comes to listing a home and sharing it. Native videos, those are videos that are actually baked into Facebook. They statistically have shown to have 10 times higher reach compared to YouTube links. And now I am not discounting YouTube by any means. I think that everybody should have a YouTube channel. If you are in business, you are selling a service or product, you should definitely have a YouTube video. It is the second largest search engine next to Google. As you guys know, Google owns YouTube. So any research results, you're going to get videos. They're going to come naturally by way of YouTube. However, Facebook and a lot of those social media platforms, the way their algorithm is geared is they don't necessarily want you to take their audience off of the platform. They want them to stay there. So if I'm uploading video directly to Facebook, directly to Instagram, the algorithm is going to give me more weight. It's going to give me more opportunities to organically get my content out there with my audience and discoverable, as opposed to dropping in a link. There was a time when the video would play within the platform. Now you actually have to leave. And so Facebook doesn't want their audience leaving. When they leave, they don't have an audience to sell their ads to, and so ad revenue dips. So they would love for you to upload your video natively onto the platform. So even though it is an extra step, in addition to uploading your content on YouTube, be sure to also have your videos and your archives live on that platform as well. You will see an increase in viewers as well as engagement. Viewers, and speaking of viewers, retain, as we mentioned, 95% of the message when it comes in the form of a video as opposed to any other way, 10% written word. So again, we're a very visual industry. So naturally, we're going to use visuals and video and images in order to sell our messaging. So be sure to look into that as well. So some things that you guys can do for your gear. I get this question a lot. Should I get a camera? Should I buy a lens? Or should I go the traditional route of just utilizing my iPhone? And what can I do to enhance some of those features? So I'm going to talk a little bit about gear that is fairly inexpensive, as well as apps and ways to edit your content. Number one, for gear, there's a lot of cool gadgets and things out there to really speed up and make your production time shorter. Naturally, a tripod or a gimbal. A gimbal is what's in the bottom left corner there of your screen. That is a motorized X and Y axis device that locks the phone into the floating gimbal. It is powered by a battery. It is charged. And what that allows your camera to do is float. It takes the shake out of your hand. So it gives you a nice floating cinematic feel when you're shooting video. There's a lot of gear and rigs that you could buy or rent over the years, well, back in the day, that they'd come and set up these big tripods and they would put on a slow pan. So we're able to capture those things now through the use of these really inexpensive devices, which is awesome. And it really does add a more of a higher production value for your videos without having to break the budget or break the bank. And so a floating gimbal, you can see that in the corner there on Amazon, I feel it has the best prices. If you're a Prime member, you can definitely get something very comparable for under $100, really inexpensive. I've seen some as low as $40, $50 that do a really good job as well. Different devices, different sizes. Just make sure to read your reviews and see what anybody had in the way of advice or what to avoid. An inexpensive little tripod, that little guy in the upper left-hand corner, $10, $15 at most. Telescoping, so one it will get taller as well as collapse and then sit nicely on top of an island or a bar. Those are great to have, especially when you're by yourself. You can set your camera up, step away, take some shots, shoot some video. In addition to lighting, if anybody's going to be utilizing lighting, it's important to make sure that you are getting a light that can be adjusted. There are now ring lights as well as studio lights that have different lighting colors, so we can go from warm to cool white. And in most cases, a lot of these new lights will now connect through the use of an app on your phone, and we can adjust those lights within the app, which is really nice. I've got lighting behind me that's used just for accent lighting to create depth naturally for a video. Not a necessity. Cool thing, maybe. It just really kind of adds a different effect and warmth to the video. So if you're someone who's going to be in front of a camera a lot, consider some ring lights like I have here, or some backlighting to give you some depth. But for most of us, if we're out shooting these homes, really we just want some front mounted lights. Battery operated lights are available as well. So if you have a home that doesn't have any power, you can grab a ring light that's battery operated, 2-hour charge on it, and get a lot of use out of it for a very, very small investment, which is awesome. Yeah, next one there, microphone. Now, a lot of our iPhones, a lot of our smartphones, some come with the head earbuds. I think as of late, iPhone has stopped giving you iBuds or wired ones now. There's a lot of different options. I'm wearing a Rode wireless mic right now to record separately into my phone. And then that Rode mic allows me to just to clip on, and then it's Bluetooth to the receiver that's on my phone. And these are really quick and easy grab and goes. They just power on, you pair them. And then now I've got a nice mic that is right here at right below my face, and it cuts out the ambient noise, and I get a nice clear sound. They have wired lavalier mics, which are really awesome as well. I've got one here that's just a mess of wires, but I've got a lavalier mic, just your traditional wire mic that plugs into the bottom of your phone, inexpensive ones. They've got lots of different options for you now on Amazon at all different price points. But that really does help with any road noise, or maybe you're in the backyard shooting a video and you want to cut out some of that sound, that ambient sound. We want to get a nice, real clean sound audio of you. Microphones are awesome if you're out and you want to get audio while out at a home. Now, if you're going to get home and you're going to record your videos, then we can do a voiceover. Clearly, we have the luxury of a quiet environment in order to do those voiceovers, and that is a tactic that we'll talk about here as well. Last one there for you, any lenses. There are a ton of different lenses that are very convenient that clip over the smartphone and on the lens on the back. Whether you're using an Android device or iPhone, those lenses are really neat. They add some filters. We can change the shape of the shot, widen, get a nice wide shot. Some of those wide shots for those larger homes, or these lenses are fantastic. We can get all the home in one single shot. And I know iPhone now has the 0.5 setting, which will allow us to widen as well. It will distort it just a tad bit, but there's ways to achieve those wide angles without distortion too much. So that's one to consider as well. Those lenses are also sold in 2, 3, 4, 5 packs on Amazon. And so those are really neat to use, and really can enhance the quality of your videos as well. So understanding your iPhone, I'm a Mac user, so I do apologize if I'm alienating any of your Android users out there. Whether you are using an Android or an iPhone, get to know the settings within the camera. If you're on an iPhone, easily just going into your settings tab, clicking down to camera, and then when you get into the camera settings, there are a lot of things that you can do to change and alter the settings and get different effects with your phone. There's a new update I'll share here with you in the next couple slides that iPhone has rolled out. And when getting into your settings, understanding that when we're shooting video, recording video, we have a frame rate. So there's 30 frames, 24 frames, 30 frames, 60 frames. The higher the frame rate, the more clear, the more fluid, and the higher res the image will be. When you get into a 24 frames per second, that's what we typically would see in a movie or a cinematic shot at a movie theater. So it's a little more realistic. It's not as clean, crisp like a reality show you would see maybe on a YouTube channel or so on. So depending on the effect that you want to get, highly recommend learning the differences between the two. I like to shoot 1080 at 30 frames or 60 frames a second. It just really depends. If it's sports, my son's playing flag football, things are moving very fastly, I'll shoot at a higher frame rate, so I reduce the blur. But for those of us who are just walking through a home, doing a walk and talk, and I hope we're not running through the house. I don't know what selling point that would be, but if we can slow that down. And also keep in mind too, when we're working at a slower or a lesser frame rate, we're going to use less memory in our phone. So not a huge memory hog, but it does make a difference. Any slow-mo effects as well, you can change the frame rate on slow motion. The higher the frame rate, the more detail we'll see during that slow motion, which is really awesome as well. Get into your device on your phone, learn about the grid. You can turn your grid on, which will be basically parallel lines running north and south and east and west. And that grid is often used when shooting photography we call those thirds. So you've got your thirds, and then you've got your thirds here. So up and down. And when shooting, it just helps us, those grids help us keep things in frame and level. We're not going through the house all crooked. So those grids will keep us in check for sure. And then learning about your zooming in and out, utilizing your fingers, all your gestures. If you've ever wanted to learn more about your phone or think there's something about your phone you're not quite sure, swipe down from the home screen, type in tips, and there will be an iPhone tip app that will open up, and that will take you through some of the basic features of your Apple device. And you can learn gesturing and swiping and dragging and dropping. And so that overall is all functionality that is part of utilizing your camera. So definitely take a look at that and learn the difference. When it comes to capturing, you've got a couple different modes. HDR is a high dynamic range. What that does, it merges a lot of the photos or images on top of one another to get the best shot. That's all done through the operating system. It's the brain within the phone that's going to give you the best shot for your still images. And when it comes to shooting video, I've already covered those specs for you as well. So as of Apple, like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, they had their developer conference where they roll out new features. They talk about the new operating systems going to be coming out, new functionality to the phone. Jokingly, a lot of times this functionality already exists with Android users. And, but Apple's notorious for finally getting around to doing something that other devices have been doing for a number of years and then acting like they invented the wheel. But that is the culture they've created. So with that, one of these popular products that Apple has had over the years is Final Cut Video, Final Cut X. It's basically a video editing software program that allows you to edit video. Well, what they've done is they've taken a lot of that functionality and control, and they've created Final Cut Camera. And now this is free. This is part of Apple's offerings. You can go into the Apple Store right now, search for Final Cut Camera. And this particular camera is a step above the native camera that is cooked into the phone currently. The features that come with this particular app are really awesome. They are a little more of an intermediate level user, but not to scare you away. There's some really cool things and easily learnable functionality within the camera itself. What it does is for video editing, you've got a lot of new manual controls. So you can adjust the ISO, your shutter speed, white balance, focus. You really can take a lot of the functionality that you would see from a professional DSLR camera, a digital professional photography camera that you can control all the aspect settings. And now they're offering that to you in the video form for your iPhone, which is really awesome. One of the really cool things that I've yet to take advantage of now with Final Cut Camera, if you're on a team and you all have iPhones and you have the app, you now can go live from multiple cameras. And then if you have or are using an iPad Pro, just so happens to be that my wife has an iPad Pro. I haven't told her though yet. I'm probably going to confiscate it and try to use some of this stuff. But we can now take up to four devices, four iPhones at the same time, camera 1, 2, 3, and 4, and link them to the iPad Pro. And through the use of this device, we can edit and utilize the iPad Pro as a motherboard, as a switch. As a board operator, I can see all four of those camera shots in live time, and we can record, and I can edit them. So if I'm interviewing a vendor or a small business owner, you have two cameras, iPad Pro. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of investment there, but these are the functionalities that are now becoming available to us. And if you're someone who's looking to create a lot of content, we can have multiple camera angles and then utilize an iPad Pro in order to edit that. So I thought that was a really cool feature, something a little more to spend some time on, possibly some money, but not really going to go that route right now. Pro monitoring tools. So use focus, peak, and zebra indicators. So a zebra indicator shows you where your white balances are, where we're too bright, where we're overexposed. So we're starting to see a lot of these features that were once available for professional cameras now being baked into our iPhones. And so customizing your resolution, shooting at 720, 1080, 4K, which is really awesome. We can now control that within the actual app at the time of recording. We don't have to go out into settings on the back end. So I can change these settings in live time while I'm in the app, while I'm actually shooting video, which is really cool. And of course, if you were going to utilize Final Cut Pro editing, Then there is a seamless integration. Take this video, it's all formatted and it goes right into Final Cut if you're editing with that platform there. So the benefits for you as a real estate agent, just really being able to capture high quality, engaging property videos, utilize advanced controls so we can just adjust. If we're in a low lit area, we can now adjust the exposure and color correct so that we get great photos. Maybe we don't have a camera or a lighting system. We can manipulate the lens, which is really nice, and allow to open it up for more light, and we can get the shot that we want. I already talked about the multi-camera and then streamlined workflow. Quick editing and polishing in Final Cut Pro if you were to edit your videos in that particular software. And at the end of the day, we're just really having more control over the type of quality of the videos that we're creating. So like always, if it's interests you, download it, practice around your house. I always tell agents, practice around your house. I do walk and talks through my home all the time, pretend it's a home just so that I can get used to the utilizing the device, get used to me speaking and at the right time, and getting comfortable just having a natural, genuine presence on the camera while we're shooting video. So some things I like to talk about, and I get a lot of questions about, is what should I do when we're staging a home, prepping tips for the shooting a house. I don't know if you guys thought maybe we would get into this or not, but it definitely does fall into shooting smart video and smart photos with your device. And number one, decluttering your surfaces and the decor within the area. Go around the home. We want to take away any of the clutter. If there's too much, we want to minimize that so that our eyes aren't distracted by too many things, and we get a real nice, comfortable feel for the home. Remove smaller pieces of furniture, anything that can free up and really expose the floor. Being able to see the floor, believe it or not, does give us more of a presence of how large a room is than a ceiling or a flat ceiling or just some white walls. We're really going to learn about depth. And naturally, our eyes are always down, our head drifts down, so we're going to see down before we care to look up. Make the floor seem larger. That's really what we're doing, is just taking away those rugs and getting that clutter out of the way. And if you can, let in some natural light. Open those lights up and let those natural light sources in, and make sure to shoot from in front of those lights so that the object or the subject you're shooting is well lit. We don't want to have that light behind you. You'll look like you're in the witness protection program when it's just a black silhouette. So we certainly want to take advantage of that. And then remove any extra stuff from the kitchen counters. So if you've got an air fryer or blender, immersion blender, whatever you see from your clients, get all those extra devices off the counter. So again, we can really show the grand space of things. And we want our clients, potential buyers, to envision what their stuff would look like on the counter, not look at yours. Same process when it comes to family photos and birthdays. We want to take down all the personal effects. Hope you guys know that way that people can envision what the memories they're going to make in the home, not be reminded of the memories that are already currently happening there. So taking ownership, that's the big one. Bathrooms is a big one. Close the toilet seat. That is a huge one. Close that toilet seat. Believe it or not, just the other day I was looking at photos and I saw a shot in the bathroom, toilet wide open, there was toothbrushes on the counter. So we want to take away any of those, grooming items, clean off all the surfaces, remove soaps, unless it's a nice decorative, soap dispenser. No half-used bar of soap on the counter. Open the shower curtain. Make sure the shower is nice and clean. Give that depth, give that shot so we can see that, and make sure that we go through and we've look for any critters behind the toilet, anything that's going to reflect poorly in a photo. And of course, make sure that toilet seat is closed. Your bedrooms, big one, no cords. Hide those trash cans, any clutter, any personal effects, any jewelry or anything of value. We certainly want to hide that as well. We just never know who's looking at these photos. And of course, the street addresses on there and everything else. And so if the valuables are out there and being photographed, a lot of homeowners may not realize that you're advertising to who God knows who to, come and take my stuff because this is all that I have. So make sure the bed's made, straighten those sheets, remove any of those cords, any extra lightings, alarm clocks, charging stations, all that stuff yanked out of there. We really want to clean that out so we get some really nice shots. Of course, like my wife always says before I leave, please make the bed and fluff the pillows. So definitely want to have a nice, beautiful shot there. So when you're going to take some shots, specifically for some still shots, what your camera tips here, we want to keep camera height in mind. We want to shoot at the waist level. Eye level shows too much ceiling. So I know it may feel weird, but we want to bring that camera down more to our waist level or chest. Maybe if you want, take a knee or squat down and get more of a lower level down so that we get more of the floor into the shot and less of the ceiling. I know saying that sounds weird because then we're crouched down. But in this particular case here, this camera is not up at my eye level here or at the photographer's eye level. It's actually down more towards the chest. And as we know, we can step back and take a look at our camera through our lens and through the screen that we're looking at. Camera angles are big. Turn on that grid. We talked about that earlier. Your grid's important for you, so that allows us to keep our shots level. We don't have a tilted camera. And that will keep all your lines nice and clean, everything symmetrical. And when we're photographing, we get all of that room into one shot. Your composition is important as well too, it really consists of lighting. So don't take photos from just one spot in the room. Take when you're creating your compositions, move around the room and look for different angles that are unique. If you can get to a corner angle that captures the kitchen, but then also in the far right, we get that long, elongated shot down a hallway, then that's awesome. We can get more of those shots in there, and it can give your viewer reference to where that room falls within all of their shots that they're looking at in the house. A shot list too. We'll talk about that real quick as well. Editing your photos. There's a lots of options out there when it comes to editing your photos. A lot of apps that will do both photos and videos. These are just some ones that are very popular right now, been highly rated within the App Store. Snapseed is owned by Google. They have lots of elementary learning abilities when it comes to editing the video and photos. Night Camera is a great one for low light photos. So what that'll do is give you a lot of functionality to up the exposure after the fact. And if you've got a photo that you like to work with, but the lighting's not quite there, Night Camera is actually a pretty cool one too. It'll really give you this opportunity to take some really cool night photos and low light situations. VSCO, photo and editing, video editing as well. This one's a real popular one, highly rated, is in the top 10 of apps in their category on Apple. So consider that one as well as one of your apps here. Advanced editing. So these tools, while powerful, may require some additional training. So definitely look for any tutorials or videos on YouTube. I know I've learned a lot through the use of YouTube over the years. There really isn't anything that you can't teach yourself from simply just visiting YouTube. There are lots of professionals out there who are looking to get their content out there. And so doing a simple search for learning to utilize Photoshop Express photo editor or learn to use Adobe Lightroom for beginners, tons of awesome tutorials out there, and even go as far as to type in for real estate agents, or how can a real estate agent, a beginner, utilize Adobe Lightroom to edit photos. You'll learn about presets, so that if you have a certain look to a home, it'll preset certain lighting, depth, change the shadows, really cool functionality, but just be sure to know ahead of time, setting your expectations that they do require a little more advanced learning, but it's out there to learn and fun to use when it comes to creating content. So different aspects of what we're doing as far as shooting video, taking photography, going live, which is probably one of the scariest things for a lot of the agents that I talk to. I do have a lot of agents who are apprehensive about being on camera in general. Then the thought of going live where you can mess up and everyone's going to see it and you can't do anything about it, that's fine. We are conditioned now as consumers to look forward to live videos. It does trigger a dopamine effect, the fear of missing out. And so when we see that notification pop up that somebody we follow, family, friend, business goes live, there's an immediate release of curiosity and interest. There's a chemical in your brain that drops and we want to know what it is. We want to go watch that video. So live does still have a lot of that fear of missing out to it. And so if you're in a situation where you want to go live and you want to be spontaneous, don't put too much emphasis on, oh God, I hope I don't mess up, or the sound of my voice, or my appearance. I mean, clearly we'd like to look professional, or look like we're not crazy and just got out of bed. Yes, put some thought into those as well. However, don't put too much behind it to the point where, or don't let it bother you to the point where it stops you from actually doing something. Just go out there and do it. It's okay to mess up. I think that authenticity, that genuineness is important to convey, and it comes across in live videos. And if there's a mishap, That's fine. Laugh it off, have fun with it. We are a reality TV world now in our culture, so we're used to seeing behind the scenes. We're used to seeing it not being perfect. We're used to seeing, unfortunately, people not at their best. But for agents, live is fun because we know you get a brief moment of time to get into a home, and you can always build up expectations and go live and utilize that feature for you and your business. But Facebook does offer live, so does Instagram. Just really depends on what platform you would like to go live on. Certainly take advantage of going live and then commenting and engaging with your audience in real time as they are jumping on and following you along in the home or whatever you're doing. If you're live with a small business owner, maybe you're doing a taste test of the number one menu item currently at a particular mom and pop restaurant and establishing yourself as neighborhood mayor. Don't discount it. Live is very powerful, and Facebook has told us when you go live, we are more likely to share your video with people that don't follow you in real time because they happen to be in a geographical area that you are in, or B, they have shown expressed interest in real estate. And so you may be able to see other real estate agents in there as well. Grows your audience overall, and it's just a really smart tactic to take advantage of. Two different forms of going live. Number one, virtual open houses. A walkthrough at open house, traditional. We probably saw a lot of this during COVID. Take your online audience with you into the home, narrate what they're seeing as you're talking. Again, we don't need to have you in the camera the whole time. If you want to start with being in front of the camera and then someone follows you through with the camera, or we just start with you showcasing the kitchen and then you're narrating what we see. Show them what we want them to see. Don't tell them. And so get out of the lens as soon as possible. We call that an establishing shot. So, hey guys, this is Keith. I'm here at this brand new 123 Main Street property in North Valley. It's beautiful. Can't wait to show you the backyard. True entertainer's delight. However, there's some other areas and aspects of this home I'd like to show you first, and then we'll get to that. So what I did there is I hooked you and said, you're going to love this backyard, but before we do, I want to show you these other amenities or other things throughout the home. So now I want to stay in because I really do want to see that backyard. You built up my expectations. I'm hooked. And now I'm going to hang out for the rest of the video and then eventually be there at the end so that we can have a conversation. So virtual home tour, definitely popular, very clear cut on what we do and how we do it. But take your audience in there and call them out while you're in there. If you see them jumping in, hey, Keith, thanks for joining us. Haven't talked to you in a while. What area of town you living in now? Ask questions back to your followers as you're on your live. That encourages engagement, and it also gets people to stay in the conversation and the video longer. Number two for you on virtual open houses, going live from your home. This was a real big one during COVID, and I had a couple classes, had a lot of how-tos on utilizing going live from home. Now, the way that works is really simple and still very powerful to this day. If you get all those photos from your homeowner, your seller, or they send you any video, aggregate all that content into one folder on your device, maybe put it on your desktop so it's easily accessible. You don't need to dig through your Finder, but have all that content into one folder for that particular listing, and then go live from your Facebook or your Instagram from home. And specifically when you're on your laptop or your computer device, your desktop device, once you go live, you can share your screen when you're on Facebook Live, and then you can double click into that file, open that up, and start it to showcase and go through the slideshow of your home. Now, I have had agents actually take those photos and videos, put them into a PowerPoint presentation or a slide deck. Canva is offering some awesome editing features now with PowerPoint presentations. So however you want to put all that together and have it as a presentation, going live virtually from home allows you to still take advantage of live, share your desktop, showcase the home, and then answering questions that are there in the chat box while you are doing it. Now, once you go live and you're talking about certain features, bring up those images on your screen. And while you do, ask questions back of your audience to elicit engagement. It's statistically shown if you get people to answer and you get them commenting, now they've got skin in the game, they're going to feel more obligated to stay on in the call and stay longer through the video. And so definitely softball out some questions to your audience while you are showing a home. There are a lot of third-party software applications out there as well, that like Zoom and Be Live, that will allow you to utilize some of their cool functionality while going live on Facebook. Like you can drop overlays onto the screen. A little more advanced technique, but definitely one to consider. Don't discount it. You'll see there's a lot of options out there, but a lot of these platforms do have a paid functionality to it as well. So there might be a pro plan. Just disclosure, there may be additional costs, but lots of cool tools out there. And then, of course, pro tip for you there: DM everyone that liked and commented and shared after the fact. After you're done with going live, you're all finished. Jump back into that live video, reference the chat log, see who commented, see who liked, see who engaged. Message them privately, thank them for connecting. It's great etiquette. It also encourages them to do it again when you go live the next time, but also it's your follow-up, and we can start getting them into our CRM and start working those relationships that we have, that we're forming in social prospecting, which is really what we're doing here when it comes to utilizing social media in order to showcase our videos. Number 2 tip for you guys there when it comes to video content creation. I get this a lot. Well, what do I shoot? What do I talk about? What do I do? There is just so much that you guys can do as an agent. It's hard for me to coach an accountant or somebody who sits at a cubicle all day. There's not a lot of scene changes that they experience. And so for you as agents, you're out, you're about, you're driving around town, you're seeing new growth, you're seeing changes, new areas popping up, new restaurants coming and going. And so you can take advantage of any one of those aspects and showcase that into video content creation to help promote you as an agent. And so for a lot of us, a lot of us are feeling a lot of stress and anxiety right now when it comes to this time of year with heat, when it comes to, homeless population. So we have lots of good things happening in the world. And so that's a great place for you to figure out, hey, I can partner with a nonprofit, showcase what they're doing to make a difference in their community. How can I contribute and help? And of course, naturally, we're meeting people, we're growing our audience, and we're letting them know that we're an agent and we're supporting them and whatever we can do in the community. So be a connector, be someone who's going to help those local businesses, make a connection, help with the food drive. Obviously, we do a ton here with WestUSA Cares, and be connected with your ambassador out of your branch location so that you can find out what you can do to help. But while you're helping, and I know it seems a little self-serving at times, there's just a really subtle way for you to capture your charitable philanthropic efforts without it feeling like you're just doing it for the gram. Kids say, doing it for the Instagram, doing it for the street cred, doing it for the publicity. When we want to make it about who we're helping, we'll figure it out. You're an agent at some point. We don't need to sell ourselves. We want to actually sell the good causes that we're working behind. And so I think that's important. And look out for those nonprofits all throughout the Valley. So find the good for sure. Number 3, monthly interviews. This one's an easy one. Grab yourself an editorial calendar when it comes to your content creation. Set aside those 3 times throughout the week, maybe 3 times throughout the month. Maybe every Friday you have a video, interview a team member, a loan officer, title rep, home inspector. This time of year, what are 3 things you can do for minimal investment to create shade in your backyard? I know I speak firsthand for this one because I spent 2 hours. I spent almost 2 days putting up sunshade in the backyard this past weekend. And it turns out I probably used an undersized pipe for the weight. And of course, our first little monsoon that rolled in 2 nights ago already ripped the pole out of the wall. So I'll be doing some repairs. However, that would be a fun little one to do, little DIY home and project that you could do for under $100 to create shade for your back patio. And if you know a handyman, or you are a handy person, or you're someone who can do this, that's great video content. And so utilize that and get with someone, if not yourself, a professional, and interview them often and monthly and throughout the year, and follow the calendar and whatever's relevant for that time of year. Of course, influencing interviews are real popular, especially with this millennial demographic. They want to hear from professionals. They want to hear from people within the community. They are not easily swayed now from traditional forms of advertising. They would much rather see people in the community, those using the product or service. That influencer marketing is a big part of how they make decisions now, and certainly one that you guys can play into for sure. Home improvements, contractors, marketing statistics, those things are changing daily. So put out a monthly little video recap. Todd Menard here at WestUSA provides us with market stats every Monday morning. grab those, paraphrase them, use ChatGPT AI, create yourself a little cue card, 5 bullet points, 30-second video, and go. Here's what we're doing. Here's what's new in the market. Here's the highest selling home, lowest selling home, medium, you name it. Share that information, establish yourself as the professional through the use of video. Number 4, tips for sellers and buyers. These are just a wealth of different things that you can share through the use of video and utilizing your marketing materials. 3 to 5, 7 tips for buyers, benefits of utilizing videos or writing a letter, or what all goes into it. Decluttering or neutralizing, decluttering, curb appeal. We've talked about that as well. Proof of funds, pre-approval ready. What does that mean? Get with loan and talk about what that means. And again, educating your audience before they have a need, because while you're educating them and empowering them, you're creating a bond with your audience before they even have a need or they know someone who does. And so while this may not be someone who has intent in buying in the next week, certainly if the information that you share is high valued and it's entertaining, it's educational, I'm going to stop and watch it, get to know you, create that bond. And then a year down the road, if I have a need or if I know someone who does short term, I'm going to think of you, because not only does he not hit me over the head every day about being an agent, but you actually share some content that's of value, and that really will help and you grow your audience. Behind the scenes is a big one. Show those buyers all the elements of what goes into an offer letter, or what a BINSR is, or what that translates. Should I ask for everything on the BINSR, or should I ask for a few things, or should I say yes to a few things, or to none of it? So take us behind the scenes on what that negotiation looks like, why one would go one way, why wouldn't go the other. Those are fascinating, and for a lot of folks who are not agents and who may want to know more about the process, if and when the time comes, then they'll feel better about it, and they'll feel much better about it with you as well. And of course, what to expect on closing day. Hopefully the key, have fun with that, really take your audience into the world of being a real estate agent. We are a reality culture now. So we want to learn about what it is that makes people tick, what they do in their day and throughout it. Number 5, big one here for you about me. Cannot stress this one enough. We should all be doing a great introduction video. Hi, my name is Keith Flynn, and I'm a real estate agent here at WestUSA Realty. Been an agent for over 15 years. Really love what I do. Love helping people find their dream homes. I actually specialize, North Phoenix area, but I'm willing to drive, something funny, something cute, anywhere I need to go in order to get you into the right home, and then tell them a little bit about you, something personal. But it's a great introduction video. That video can live on your social media, on your YouTube channel. And as people discover you, either organically or through you sending them the link, you have an opportunity to introduce yourself while you're asleep, while you're working, while you're doing all your other fun stuff, and they can get to know you as an agent. Certainly establishes trust, credibility, likability. That's a big one. I know not everybody likes me, but I do care. And so having a bubbly personality, fun, engaging, how we communicate, some people may be turned off by my level of enthusiasm. And so we're all looking for someone to find rapport with. There are those who are drawn to that. And so your videos will lend that self to you, help you figure out this guy is maybe too much for me. He's at a 10. I'm looking for somebody at a 6, or vice versa. So video can do a lot for you in that respect. Be enthusiastic, be engaging, have fun while you're on video, and that'll really show through the camera and encourage those to utilize you as an agent. Your bonus tip for you there on that one: record your Zoom calls with permission, of course, from your community members, interviews, client showcase. If you can't get somebody in person, then do a split screen, record your Zoom calls, and let's go through the 3 things that we may not have thought about that we need to do in order to get pre-qualified for a home. Why are we getting pre-qualified? Because we want to know what our buying power is before we get out there and look at a home. Take your top 5 questions that you get and create those as a video. If there's somebody who can come in and be an expert and lend their expertise to that video to create more value, ask them if they'll be on a side-by-side and do a 5-minute video and chop that up into, each one of those segments. Here's a cool trick for you, since the last time I've even taught this class. After you take your Zoom recording, you can take your recording, and there's a number of different software editing services out there that will You upload the video, transcribe the video for you, take your audio, put it into written word, and then we can also extract highlights. So create cue cards from it, the top 3 takeaways from my video. The artificial intelligence has gone a long way now. And I've just taught a class the other day utilizing a service called Descript. And Descript basically analyzes my entire video, pulls the transcript out for me, pulls out social media posts, creates posts for me. So there's a lot of after the fact, after the shot, after the video editing that we can do now through the use of AI that will speed this process up. And now we've got all kinds of forms of social media creation from that pillar video content. So do not discount that, because there's a lot of cool tools out there for you to utilize when it comes to taking your video and now what. Like, in fact, I'm recording this video right now with my iPhone, and my goal after this is to utilize that software, pull the transcript, create a social media post, pull the highlights, cut out all the uhs and the ums, because I know that's annoying. Sorry. Those are called filler words, and those filler words can eat up a big portion and become annoying. And so I hope I'm not going to annoy you now by pointing those out, just like no one heard the cricket until someone pointed it out. So these software applications are amazing because they allow you to clean that up and really put an awesome video out there. Speaking of which, best video editing apps for 2024. Some of these are paid, some have them a one-time investment. I love InShot, far upper right-hand corner there. InShot video editor, really easy to use, lots of features, lots of cool tools. However, InShot still only is an app. They do not have a desktop version, which is why I really am in love with CutCap video editing in the bottom left corner there. Not only has an app for your phone, but also has a desktop version, and very intuitive, lots of really cool templates, royalty-free music, overlays, animation, really easy to use. And in fact, I do have a CapCut class that I'm working on right now. Hopefully have that up via Zoom by the end of July. I'll be out of town for most of July, but when I come back in, we want to talk about CapCut, because I really think getting out of the summer, we really should all put our foot on the gas and let's just start getting content out there to establish ourselves. And CapCut will speed up that process. So CapCut, through the use of AI, shooting, editing, and then putting out multiple pieces of content off of a 2-minute video, which is amazing. I recommend that as well. Adobe Premiere Rush, cost associated, WeVideo. A lot of these do have a cost associated. CapCut, you can pay for it for the year. I think it works out like $10 a month. InShot's like $14, $15 for the year. So much more inexpensive, but just feel like there's a little more horsepower with CapCut. So we'll be talking about that when we get to back into July. So I'm at the end right now, coming up to my last 2 slides. If you haven't, I have a closed Facebook group called Keith Social Corner. A lot of what I do, a lot of the tips, tricks, ideas, suggestions, breaking news, marketing related. I have a closed group where we post content, interact. So if you haven't already done so, jump onto Facebook, search for Keith Social Corner. Tied heavily in there with WestUSA, and of course, a lot of my classes, a lot of what we do, a lot of little things that are happening in the community and in our industry. I pop on there as well. So I'd love to have you join on to our closed group. And the last one there, of course, I'm on social media, so I'd love to connect with you as well. You can follow me. Flynn Media Group is my side hustle, as well as Keith here on Instagram and on Facebook and LinkedIn. If you have any email questions or any questions at all, you can always email me. I'm Keith at WestUSARealty.com now. But we always love to jump on a call with you guys, answer any questions you may have. Whoops. And I see some questions popping in the box here. So, yes.
Yes, I've been waiting for you to finish your presentation. So
Well,
I can
thanks,
answer
Elise.
questions.
Appreciate waiting.
But you're not going to sign off yet, right?
No, not at all. I'm definitely.
Okay, I thought we were going to have a question and answer thing.
We are definitely going to have a question and answer. But I always love to make sure before everyone runs off, I'm like, email me if you got to go. But if you want to stick around and pick my brain, I would love to chat with you. So go for it, Elise. How are you?
Pick your brain. I have basic. It's all very basic. I didn't want to interrupt you before because you.
Oh no, it's okay.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say was, I have no problem with lighting, shooting. I have a YouTube channel that nobody sees because I guess I'm not that good at doing GMs.
Okay.
But my number one problem, and I've been going to workshops for years, and nobody seems to be able to explain this to me.
Sure.
I've got so many great videos that I've shot,
Okay.
and I cannot get them off my phone. I want to email them to clients. I want to send text messages to clients. Now, I could send something really quick, like, you know, 30 seconds. I can, anything more than that, like if it's over a minute, then I have an iPhone 12.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the problem.
No, not at all. That's a current phone.
That's a good one. I mean, it takes
Yeah.
great pictures, but every time I try to send something, it says, I get a message that says, sorry, that file is too large. So my problem is not shooting or lighting or
Sure.
anything. I don't know how the hell to get the videos off my phone to
Yes.
my clients. I went into the settings and I'm confused. I mean, I'm reading. I'll read it off. You said HD is a bigger file size. You said shoot in HD, it'll look better. But
Mm.
if it looks better, I can't get it off my phone. So the
Right.
setting I have it on is 720p HD at 30 FPS. So
Right.
that's checked off. That means that I have that selected, and
Mhm.
I believe that is the biggest file size.
That is not that biggest file. The biggest would be 1080p at 60 frames a second, or 4K. 4K at 60 frames. So are you on?
Underneath, I'm looking at it right now. So
Sure.
underneath the HD settings, it says 4K at 24 frames per second, 4K at 30 frames per second, 4K at 60
60
frames per
frames.
second. So I don't know what I should be shooting at in order to be able to actually send this to my clients.
Right. No, it's a great question, and I want to reframe that because I want you to not. I don't want you to shoot video concerned about how you're going to get the video to people. I'd rather you shoot in the best quality, and we can easily fix that ability to get the video.
I already have the best quality. I used to be a filmmaker 30 years
Okay.
ago. I'm not
Okay.
concerned about quality,
Sure.
but in the digital age,
Yes.
I'm really having a hard time with the
Mhm.
technology, which is so different than years ago when we used to tape
Sure.
stuff together. So I
Yeah.
know how to shoot. I know all about lighting and
Good.
everything. I've done walkthroughs. I got a YouTube channel. I don't know how to get it off my phone.
Okay.
I
So
need
what?
to find out what setting I should use
Sure.
to be able to text and email my clients.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I rarely try to send video. If it's short video, I can send it in a text message. Obviously, iPhone is able to compress it through their iMessenger in order to send it. But if there's someone I'm sending to doesn't have an iPhone, what I do the most, and
What's iMessenger? I don't know what
well, if you have an iPhone, then
yeah.
iMessenger is iPhone's messaging native messaging app. When you go to send a text message, sometimes
Oh,
you'll see like their numbers in blue. That means they have an iPhone. If it's in green, it's an Android.
right. And it says file too large. Can't.
Right. So what happens is yeah, there's a couple different options. Sometimes Apple will give you the ability to create an iCloud link, which then it backs up your content to the cloud. They get a link and then they're pulling it down off the cloud. So it never goes from device to device through the air. My workaround that I love and I use the most is Google Drive. I don't know if you have a Google Drive or you're using one. What I am basically doing is I have a Google Drive that I spend $10 a month for 2 terabytes of space. When I have a lot of videos on my phone, I will select my photos and then I will back them up to my Google Drive in my Google account through my phone. Now, I only do this when I'm at home connected to a Wi-Fi, not through a cellular service because it's slower rate. So if I know I'm going to be at the office for several hours, I'll highlight a bunch of videos and I'll back them up to my Google Drive. Once they're all there, then I will delete them off my phone. I free up space, but then I can also then now go to my Google Drive, grab that link specifically for that video, and then share that link with my clients or with anybody. And then all they have to do is click on the link. They can either view it or download it. So
So
basically, I'm
it goes to
offloading.
Google. I send the link to the client and it goes to my Google Drive backup area.
Basically what it is that link, once the video, or whether it's a PDF, a JPEG, or a video, once it's backed up to your drive, it has its own link that you can share, text message, email, and you can share that with anybody that has that link. What that does is twofold. One, I can share larger files now, and then I don't have to, and then I also free up space on my phone because that can fill up pretty quick, especially when you're shooting at those high reses.
I know that there's a program called like Bitly where people are able to shorten things.
Correct.
So is there something for video where you could take your video and compress it, shorten it, and then be able to just send that to people?
There may be some third-party apps that do that. I haven't explored them. I have found the reason why I do it that way with the Google Drive is because I'm in a situation where I'm also needing to free up space on my device. You know, I have a 13 Pro, and so but I only did 128 gigs. So I know I'm teetering with 20 gigs of space to play with. I shoot a lot of video for my son's football team. And if I don't get it off my device, then I find myself running out of memory really quick. So I have to be religious about it. So that's why I use a drive, whether it's Google Drive, it's backing up to the Apple Cloud. Amazon has a service you can subscribe to as well, and they will automatically offload all your photos and videos to an Amazon shared drive. It really just depends on where you want to back that content off. Anything over 25 megabytes is probably not going to send. I know it won't send through an email, and text messages really just depends if it's another Apple user.
How do people, if let's say I made a 5-minute video
Yeah.
about how to buy a home, right?
Yeah.
So that's too many megabytes. How do people send stuff? I'm really confused.
Well, they're backing that video. A finished video of that length shouldn't just be living on your device to send to people. It should be on a service like YouTube.
Like YouTube.
Yep, exactly. And then from there, you can send the link directly to them, or you can upload your videos, your final product to Facebook, and then you can send that link to them. It just really depends.
I have been sending things to YouTube, right?
Yes.
I know I could put stuff on YouTube and then send that link and it directs the client to YouTube. The problem with YouTube is they see your video, and then the nature of YouTube is that it rolls over into somebody else's video who is also showing homes in the same neighborhood. So I don't want it to roll over to somebody else.
No, you're right. And so that end frame. So let's say they watch your video, and then that end frame where it offers up other videos, you can actually turn that feature off on your phone, on your videos. I don't recall exactly where it's at, but when you upload a video, it's one of the last features in the questions. It's when it's asking, you can either choose a video that they see at the end or none at all. It will default to other video that's related to your channel and your topic, which is why they'll see other agents and other real estate properties. Or you can designate the options they have at the end of your video to see another one of yours that you've created, a past one, or something else that's relevant to you on your channel, or none at all. So that's one of those last questions when uploading a video. You can serve them the ones you want them to see. Like when I upload my videos to YouTube, like for this particular one, instead of it just ending on that card at the end when they go wherever they want, that YouTube wants them to go, I actually say, here's an old Facebook video, here's an old, iPhone usage video, whatever. So I give them options that are mine, and that keeps them on my channel as opposed to going somewhere else. Yes.
Okay. I have a tip for you. You
were lay it on me.
Running out of room on your phone.
Yes.
I pay 99 cents a month.
Yes.
To Apple, and it gives me so much more room. I've got thousands of pictures on my phone and 200 videos, and I'm not running out of space because I pay 99 cents a month.
That's awesome. Yeah, their cloud base is definitely awesome. I got the shiny new toy got me because when I signed up, they gave me a free home Alexa Echo. So, but now, now in hindsight, I'm like, well, I'm paying $10 a month for 2 terabytes. I guess I could go spend that with Apple, but
So
There are two.
your solution is the Google Drive for $10 a month is the best
I
deal,
like
because
that.
people, tell me put your pictures in Dropbox and then send a link from Dropbox. That's another one.
That's another one. Yeah, there's a lot of different workarounds. It really is. There's a lot in play. Cost associated, familiarity. I use Google Workspace for my side business, and so that's all tied together with that cost associated with this separate LLC, and I have a lot of storage over there, and so that makes sense for me. But that may not make sense for somebody else, and so certainly finding something that's going to work for you is I totally support that. So, but yeah, there are a lot of options, and then that's a great question to pose to AI, ChatGPT. I know I've had some head scratchers where I've asked artificial intelligence what services are out there, what's the most cost effective, what makes sense for what I do, and I tell it what I do, and I usually get some really good options that way as well.
Really?
Yeah. Love it.
Never thought of asking the AI. You mean like chat AI?
Chat GPT. Yep. Oh no, I've said, hey, listen, I'm a father of a son who plays flag football, and I shoot a lot of video on my iPhone. I'm using up a lot of space. Where should I offload that content? Which is the fastest way to do it? It always says make sure you're on a Wi-Fi connection, because that's when you're going to experience the most speed. And then your popular options are Amazon, Google Drive, Apple. Naturally, if you're an Apple user, they're going to want you to use their cloud. And then if I drop my phone in the toilet, at least everything still is on the cloud and I can go access it from another device. So certainly appreciate that aspect as well.
I just before I sign off,
yeah,
I want to make sure that I understand what my settings should be as I'm shooting, because
sure.
that affects the file. So should I go down to 4K at 24 FPS and stay away from the HD?
Well, so 4K is going to be the highest definition, the highest resolution. That's gonna give you the clearest and highest picture, 4K. And then at 60 frames a second will be your fastest frame rate. So that, since it's the fastest and the best, it's going to use up the most memory. That's usually what I caution everybody.
So I'm looking at, like, I want to get the smallest file size to make sure I can get it off my phone. So
sure.
Saying the way I have it now is 720 HD at 30 FPS. That's too big, or that's the smallest?
That's smallest.
Well, that's what's not getting off my phone, so the others would be worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah. That's basically what I'm saying is that is the lowest resolution, and even at that, you're going to have a hard time because the file sizes are still too big.
So even just with because the 720 HD, this file size is still big.
Oh yeah, more than likely will still be too big. If it's a 30-second video, you can easily text message it. If it's going to be 5 minutes, then it's just going to be too big. Regardless.
Oh no, I don't want to send 30-second messages. I want to contact my clients and tell them what's going on, and I need more than 30 seconds.
Clearly, yes.
So so the HD ones are smaller, and the ones that say 4K are bigger.
Correct. Yeah, because you've got standard high def, which is 720, 1080, and then you get into 4K, which is the highest resolution currently available on iPhones. So, but now but now we've got 8K TVs coming out, so that's a whole other 5 years down the road. So pretty soon it's just real,
Okay, all right. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah, Elise, it's good seeing you, by the way. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're doing well.